There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to our humble podcast, Legal Tech Light. I am Tammy French, Head of Strategic Partnerships for Mosaic. I have with me today Michelle Hamilton, our Managed Services Division Lead. And we are privileged to have with us today Jeff Bartlett, one of our Senior Business Analysts. And I'm going to let Jeff go ahead and introduce himself.
Thank you, Tammy and Michelle, for having me on your podcast. I have to say I've enjoyed watching your podcast the past several weeks. They're always informative and provide insight into the solutions Mosaic offers. So I always enjoy those. And I have to admit, it's difficult to come by a fruitful podcast that's based around legal ops, but I think you definitely nailed it. So as a brief introduction, my name is Jeff Bartlett. I'm a senior business analyst at Mosaic. Before joining Mosaic, a little over a year ago, I was an analyst in corporate legal for almost 20 years. So I've experienced a good view of legal ops from both sides, from the corporate legal end and also from the consulting side.
Awesome. You really have. You bring a lot of experience.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I remember when, Jeff, you started and you'd said you'd been with your previous company for 19 years. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's a really long time. And it is a really long time. But I can't imagine what all you've gotten to experience within corporate legal in that amount of time. So,
I quickly want everyone on this podcast or everyone who's watching this podcast to know that when you reach out to Jeff after this to inquire about what he's going to talk about today, make sure you ask him about the Waffle House.
I was not aware the Waffle House would come up in this discussion, but it definitely deserves it.
Okay. Well, Jeff, I really appreciate you saying those very kind things about our podcast. We've worked really hard to make it, as fun but informative as possible. So thank you. That was very sweet. So what we wanted to talk to you about today was TAP. And I know that you have a lot of experience with TAP, whereas I have none. So can you just give me a high-level overview of, not all of the ins and outs, but, workflows and things of that nature?
Sure. Well, probably best we'll keep it high level. So just at a high level, just looking at TAP as a whole, it's basically, you could say it's your best friend. I mean, from what I've seen from TAP, it's a workflow automation technology that uses rule-based logic to automate manual processes. And, of course, workflow automation saves time and money. In addition, the automation, it reduces human error and it drives efficiencies. And, of course, that's what we're all about, driving efficiencies.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really awesome. What all does TAP integrate with? What different systems?
Well, so of course, being integrated, being TAP and having the ability to integrate with multiple systems, there will be the need to require multiple tools. So the software may require multiple tools. So you're going to extend the power of Team Connect, for example, and you would enable digital e-signatures. So that would be something that would be important, is the e-signature as a document goes out. And in addition, you could map Team Connect objects to TAP fields. So, and then in that example, if your department is already using Team Connect, you would extend Team Connect's capability into every process and department of the organization. So it doesn't have to be just legal focused. You can extend out into other departments, for example, HR, compliance. So not only would be legal's best friend, but I guess you'll be other friends with in all departments. If you want some examples of what TAP would do. So if you wanted to process an NDA or an agreement, if you had a disclosure, an intake form, vendor onboarding, contracts, just for a few examples. And then if you're going to integrate, of course, you would have the Outlook integration to enable emails, for example, for approvals or rejections to be sent out without even having to log in to TAP. So the user would receive it, or the approval, or receive the form via the workflow without even having to log into TAP. They could action that, and then it would move on to the next step.
Well, that's really awesome. And, I apologize. I kind of jumped around in my notes really fast because I was just kind of interested in that piece, but not that I'm not interested in the rest. But I appreciate you jumping around with me. Um, so, what are some of the benefits of TAP?
Well, just to name many benefits of TAP, but just a few offhand, of course, TAP being the game changer as it is, it saves you time as your workflow can be published quickly and easily. In addition to that, it doesn't require a code, so you might not have to involve IT. So it's you could be independent in producing these within hours. So it's quick time to market with these forms and workflows, much quicker than with a manual process.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and it frees up time for you to work on your actual day job. So you probably have other things to do besides coding workflows or forms. Another thing, just offhand, it would have your centralized reporting and tracking dashboard, and this would give you an overview of the workflow activity in real time at a glance. And then in the analytics module, you can report on all the interactions within a workflow, so you have that robust reporting. And then, of course, you have the security. The workflows are archived securely in the cloud, so you have the peace of mind that information is going to be secure. And then another benefit, if I may add one more, the co-innovation site. So you can have that collaboration with it's a comprehensive co-innovation site where you go there, it's online, you can share and collect ideas and best practices from your peers, and you could share use cases with others who might face the same challenges you do. So those are just a few benefits of TAP offhand, but along with many others.
Well, it does sound like, it's a pretty versatile tool. And I mean, I know you just kind of touched on some of the uses and things of TAP. Do you have anything else that you want to, inform us that, the system will also do?
Well, of course, now thinking of driving efficiencies in a world we're trying to do more with less, and thinking of, you can benefit with the process that TAP could bring to you. So, for example, if you would identify a process where you can benefit where you would need automation, do you have repetition? Do you have a process that's so manual that the team requires automation? And this would be good for user adoption. For example, a repetitive manual process that needs to be digitized, and then define the goals of what do you want to accomplish. Is it increased productivity? Is it cost savings? Is it faster time to market? Or is it the reporting? Do you want to monitor the business processes through reporting using TAP's robust analytics piece? And then once you get to that point, we'll design the workflow. So you would go in and you'd create your forms, create the workflows, create the rules. Once that's published, you're done. And then at the end of the day, okay, you want to see, well, how we're doing. You want to compare the results now with the pre-existing process. And that's where you get your user adoption, your efficiencies, and that automation that saves time and money. And you can see your return on investment happen often, that would occur almost immediately.
Wow, that's really, really awesome.
And from what I understand, Jeff, I know that some people find, when they first take a look at a workflow automation tool like TAP, it seems a little daunting, setting it up and getting it all right. But that's kind of where also somebody with your experience would come in, and Mosaic Consulting too, because as long as you've got all the documentation about where these workflows go and the next thing in the process, and if it doesn't do this, it goes to that person, and if that person doesn't, it goes to the next person, right? As long as you have all that documented, building the workflows is a pretty easy process. Is that right?
Sure, I guess you can define easy as far as, and that's the intention, the drag and drop interface. Workflows published within an hour or two, or maybe several hours as opposed to a week or two. And then also the whole intention of publishing these workflows without having to involve IT. Maybe in minimal instances you have to involve IT when you bring in the integrations that Michelle had mentioned. But yes, that one of the I think in my mind, one of the best features of TAP is the ease of use and the ability to drag and drop and real clean interface to enable users like us to go out there and publish workflows almost immediately.
So you know what I love about this is that I have a lot of strengths, but the tech side is not one of them. But this seems like something that, I mean, I could get in and use. You're saying that it's very user-friendly, that you don't have to use the IT team, that you don't have to do a whole bunch of coding. Do you think that this is something that, you know, just anybody in legal could utilize?
Sure, and I could, as your experience, and I know you and Tammy and your experience, I know you can identify areas throughout your day where you could use automation. And then once you wrap your head around that, gather requirements, put it into place, and I think you'd be surprised at how quickly and how effectively you could begin automating your own processes.
Oh, wow. That's really neat.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting tool. And, you know, also, I just want to mention that on your side, maybe a little bit, Michelle, too, is that Mosaic has begun offering managed services around the TAP platform to help with all of these things. So I know this isn't a sales podcast or anything, but
Right.
you know, with TAP being something that I don't know that a lot of companies use workflows, or at least not as many as I think should use them. And I feel like it's not really as daunting as it seems. It isn't. And you know, there's some expertise here around doing that, and you know, keeping up with them and all of that sort of stuff that we can help with as well. I'm sorry. I know I like to stick that in there a little bit, but.
Well, no, along those lines, Tammy, I'm kind of imagining a situation where, say, maybe you had someone go on maternity leave or someone out for a while. That would be a perfect opportunity for Mosaic to come in. Maybe if we have to refine workflows or do an assessment or an optimization of the TAP platform, seamlessly come in there and seamlessly integrate with your team and do that kind of managed services, as you mentioned. And there's another efficiency gain right there. And then also the contract would be flexible on how many hours you would define that. But absolutely, that's a great point, that Mosaic would have a great role in that instance.
I mean, you know, just in case anybody would be interested in and need some help with keeping up with it or even building them. So I'd like to put that out there.
And then also you not only the managed services, but as we all know that Mosaic's IT team is, you know, they're the gold standard as far as the work that they do. And this is, you know, the TAP, the integrations and anything involved on their end would be their sweet spot, and definitely something that it's exciting to think about the opportunity to get them, you know, working in TAP, and then along with our team and IT and managed services and professional services together. It's definitely exciting because there's a demand for the product out there. And, you know, in today's world, we're doing more with less. It seems like a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, I really appreciate you joining us today. This has been really informative, and I can't wait to see how many people reach out to you to ask about Waffle House.
Absolutely. Well, I will let you know. Well, thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Tammy.
Thank you very much. And if anybody needs to reach us, you can use our website. Jeff's LinkedIn is on there. He also has a Calendly link on there if you'd like to reach out to him. Michelle and I do as well. Also, support@mosaiclegalops.com is available also. So thanks everybody for watching, and have a great day.
Thank you.